Here is the harsh truth. If you can't make sales in your business will die. I don't care how great your product or service is. If you can't persuade people to use it, if you can't get somebody to take out their wallet, if you can't get your prospect to say yes and then give you money, you will go out of business. Sales, persuasion, influence, these are skills that anybody can learn, and in my opinion, they are the most important skills that a real estate professional or a real estate investor needs to master, and that's what this video is all about. So many times in business, I see new real estate agents or new real estate investors, they study everything that they can about the real estate business. They take classes, they invest in coaching or mentoring, they learn all the strategies, create the perfect business cards, the perfect websites, they spend crazy hours watching videos on YouTube. They study their local markets, they study their inventory, they study details about the properties they want to sell. They sit at open houses. Oh my God, they spend so much time at open houses. They do everything that they can do to prepare themselves to become knowledgeable. And they're enthusiastic about it. They love the idea of the financial freedom that real estate can create for them and for their families, so they enthusiastically work hard to build their businesses. And they do this for months. And when they finally get in front of a prospect, or on the phone with the prospect, somebody that actually wants to buy or sell a house from them, something disastrous happens. They fall to their default training. They lose their enthusiasm. They immediately just start spewing out all the benefits of buying or selling a house with them. They're confrontational. They don't know how to overcome objections. They talk about all the details of the home, all the details of the neighborhood, why the price is right for them. The location's the perfect location. They tell the prospect why this is the perfect house for them. And then guess what? In most instances, they lose the sale. They get objection after objection, and they lose the sale. Oh, we're just looking. Let us think about it. We want to talk to some more people about this, or we want to look at some more properties before making a decision. They lose the sale. And also, in most instances, this was completely avoidable. Here's what I know to be true. And listen, if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to this channel. And if you get some value from any of my videos, please share them with some friends. Now, here's what I know to be true. Influence and persuasion in real estate, it doesn't happen because you know every detail about the property or about the neighborhood, or about your inventory, or have the best logo or the best looking website in the business, or even if you're with the best brokerage or team or company. Influence and persuasion, it happens when you truly understand your prospects' needs and you meet them where they are. In other words, it's not selling them into something through spewing out lots of details. It's compelling them through motivational interviewing and getting to know their fears, their desires, their goals, getting them to come up with the idea that this house is the best house for them, leading them towards a yes. And here are a few key steps to becoming more influential. First and foremost, it's all about building rapport. People do business with and say yes to people that they know, like, and trust. Rapport, it's power, and it's built when positive energy is flowing between two human beings on a subconscious level. I mean, just think about the last time you met somebody new and within like a blink of an eye, you felt like you guys were best friends. Why do you think that was? Well, it's probably for a bunch of different reasons. The stories you shared with each other, they were relatable. Your body language, they were similar. Maybe your tonality of your voice or the speed at which you guys were talking was similar or comforting. Maybe before you met the other person, somebody that you respect very much talked highly about them, so they had this third-party endorsement and it set you guys up for success. Whatever the reason, by the time the first conversation was finished, a nice level of rapport was being created. Second, it's all about asking great open-ended questions so you can understand their needs. If you want to know why they're buying or selling, simply ask something open-ended like, what's making you want to sell your house here today? Or what's making you want to buy a house here today? If you want to pre-qualify them to see how serious they are about buying or selling, ask something like, listen, if I put the perfect offer in front of you, is this something that you're really ready to make a decision on here today? If you want them to tell you what their best solution is for buying or selling, ask something like, let me ask you something, Bob. Have you actually tried selling through another real estate agent before talking with me? Or maybe you can even ask a bigger question like, listen, if I had a magic wand and was able to create the perfect deal for you, what would that deal look like? By asking open-ended questions like this, you start to understand your prospect's emotional state, their needs, their urgency, their fears, their desires, and it allows them to come towards you willingly without having to force the sale based on what you want them to do. And lastly, it's all about being able to roll with resistance. Sales and negotiations, it's all about this transfer of energy, like yin and yang, or like playing tennis. The negotiation is going to go back and forth until a meeting of the minds occurs. And in order for this to happen, you have to master rolling with resistance. Listen, it's inevitable that you're going to encounter some objections. Truth is, objections are actually a really good thing. Now, during my presentation, I normally try to clear out most of my objections early on, but getting them at the end when you're going for the sale is actually a good thing. Because as long as both of you are still talking, you're still in the game. They're normally just buying questions. They just want to feel more comfortable with you before the final yes. So here's a simple formula for overcoming any objection with the prospect. First, always say their name back to them. Second, agree with them. And third, do a slight takeaway with an open-ended question at the end. It's going to look something like this. Let's say you're trying to buy a house from a motivated seller and they start to get a little defensive. You can feel the energy, it's kind of building up, they're starting to get defensive, and suddenly they say something like, look, I'm not interested in selling my house at a discount. I would just stay calm and calmly respond with something like, listen, I don't blame you, Bob. We're not trying to get you to sell for anything less than you want to. And the truth is, I'm not even sure that your house meets our home buying criteria or that my partner would approve it at this time. Now, just tell me a little bit more about the kitchen and the repairs that you made that you mentioned to me earlier. You see how I rolled with the resistance versus attacking their objection head on? It's so much smoother and it keeps the rapport building versus breaking it down. Now these tips, they just scratch the surface when it comes to tactics and strategies for influence, persuasion, and making sales. There are so many different levels and layers to mastering this art form. And if you want to learn more, look below this video and in the description of the video because I'm going to have some more awesome in-depth training on this subject. And obviously, don't forget to like the video. Leave me a comment down below on what your best influence or persuasion or sales tip is. And oh, hey, listen, one last thing before I let you go. When you start to go into the part of the conversation where you're about to ask for the final yes, don't lose enthusiasm. In fact, ramp up your enthusiasm. I see so many new investors or agents, they go to ask for the sale and they do it like apologetically. They say things like, look, I don't want to pressure you into making a decision here today. And if you want to think about it, I understand. But I think this house is the perfect house for you. So let's talk about it or let me know how you'd like me to proceed. They lose all their energy, all their enthusiasm. For some reason, it just falls flat. The sale ends up going south and they almost apologize for the yes. It's crazy. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you've done your job, built rapport, understood their needs, connected emotionally, and allowed them to come into the sale on their terms, then you should ramp up your energy and strongly ask for the yes. This is how the pros do it, and so should you. All right, I'm Cody Sperber, the Clever Investor, signing off for now. Take care, comb your hair, and I'll see you on the next video.